is 1 hour and counting. It's time for KVNU Game Day with more analysis and previews. Sponsored by Alpine Home Medical, Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, Les Olson Company, Jarek's Fine Jewelry, My Mattress, Elements Restaurant, Cache Valley Bank, Castelite, Daryl's Appliance, Advanced Fireplace and Stove, Cache Valley Ear, Nose and Throat, White Pine Funeral Home, S.E. Needham Jewelers, and LSS Insurance. Now with a countdown to tip-off, here's the legendary voice of the Aggies, Al Lewis and Jalen Moore.
Well, just when the Aggies, again, are in the midst of their worst conference start they have ever had and needing a victory so badly, they have to face the perennial Mountain West powerhouse, San Diego State, in the Spectrum tonight. You know, it took Utah State 12 times to finally beat the 14-time conference champions. Since that breakthrough, though, the series has actually been the Ags 5 and the Aztecs 3, and boy, do we need it to be 6-3 tonight. The last 3 conference titles have been decided between these two schools, and big man Trevin Dorius has been a part of it.
It's kind of like a rivalry there. As long as I've been here, it's been us and San Diego State.
That's right. It's been 5 times in our 8 years in the Mountain West Conference that Utah State and San Diego State have actually squared off at the end of the year tournament. And at this particular point as we play tonight, I know the Aztecs still feel like they're a legitimate contender again, no matter what regular season and towards Vegas. They only have 1 league loss. They're 11-4 overall, 3-1. But even though our guys are at 1-5 at the start of conference with the 5 defeats, a total of 18 points total, it shows they can play with the best team so far. But at this particular point where our team is, they really need to get everything together as much as they can for that week in Las Vegas because of how it's going right now. And I think for their psyche, they need a breakthrough, and for all of us, a victory. What is it I always say? We don't need any more close and no cigar, as I like to say. And Coach Ryan Odom quickly on tonight.
It's going to be a hard game all around. It always is anyway when you're playing San Diego State. But, our guys are excited to get back here in the Spectrum.
It is the only Mountain West contest tonight. We will break down San Diego State, Utah State now on our KVNU Game Day, beginning right now. Al Lewis with Aggie great Jalen Moore, as we get ready for it. And Jalen, what a great time for our Aggies, struggling, needing a win so badly, the way the conference schedule is open for them, to just turn things around. And all of a sudden, when you need a win so bad, it's those Aztecs that are in our way tonight.
Yeah, and, I think nothing for our team would be better than beating them tonight. We're on a little bit of a slump. I think this would be a huge win for us. They were playing really well. They went to Boise and lost in the close game. Then they bounced back with a win of their own. So they're back on the winning track. We're losing right now. We know, like you guys, like we were saying, like the players know it's a little bit of a rivalry game. There's going to be a lot of pressure defense, a lot of athletic guys out there, a lot of running, gunning. They're just a team that likes to get you to turn the ball over, and they try to capitalize on that kind of stuff and do some showtime stuff to get some nice dunks. I think a guy on their team had a windmill on a fast break last game. That's just the kind of stuff they want to do to get the momentum swinging their way. And our guys, we're going to really see what they're made of tonight. We're on a little bit of a losing streak, and it's going to really test the grit of our team tonight to see what team shows up.
You were in the Spectrum, Jalen, as a player, January 25th, 2014. It was 8 years ago and one night ago. First time ever San Diego State came into town. You had that team, and I think you still feel like to this day you guys should have closed that game out and beaten a really good San Diego State team that first time we ever played them here in Logan.
Yeah, and it was a really close game. It was actually one of my better games as a freshman. I was able to start that game. Spencer Butterfield, hit a buzzer beater going into overtime. It was just crazy. The crowd was crazy. And I feel like ever since that game, the first time that we played them at home in the Spectrum, it's kind of been a rivalry between us. There's been a lot of close games, but there's also been some games where they just blow us out, and I think we just need to get back in the groove of where, hey, it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a dogfight. And like we always talk about, the team that does the best in those little categories, those little things, that's usually the team that comes out on top.
74-69 was that overtime loss. And then 2 years later, you had another 3-point home defeat in a close game. But it was in the tournament that year that, as I'm reminiscing a little bit about Aggie San Diego State with you here, Jalen Moore, that tournament game, remember it was almost like the officials took it away from you in the last minute of the game when you had San Diego State beaten in Vegas.
Yeah, that's like I said, we've had so many crazy games with them, and a few of them have taken place in Vegas too, in the conference tournament, and we've had some not so good calls down the stretch go our way. We had other close games when I got older and was a junior, I believe, against San Diego State in the tournament that was also close. Felt like we had some bad calls get called again. But yeah, it is what it is. We had our chances to beat them. And yeah, it's always just a battle. You know what you're going to get from them. Like I said, you're going to get pressure defense. You're going to get a team that loves to be out there and transition and play and crash the O-boards and stuff like that. And so I think it's going to be another close game tonight. I mean, we haven't really been in a blowout game. We just haven't been able to get over that hump that we need to get over to win these games.
It seems like everybody in this league is playing top-notch defense this year in a lot of ways, and we have talked about where the Aggies really need to shore up in that area. And you've played against it, and you're touching on it already. You don't get many chances against San Diego State, the way they play. So you have to take advantage of every one of those chances if it is a close game to have a chance to win this kind of game because of the way they play such great defense, right?
Yeah, you do. And they throw – the thing about them that's hard is they throw a lot of different defenses at you. They don't just do one thing really well. They do a lot of different defenses really well. They throw a bunch of different presses at you. Most of the game they're playing pressure man. They run in trap on the half court sometimes. They just do a lot of things to try to make you uncomfortable, not make you make bad decisions. Like I said, they want to make you turn the ball. If they make you turn the ball over in the high double digits, they did a great job because they know they're going to capitalize on so many of those turnovers. And you just can't give them that chance. When you have open shots, you have to make them against them. You don't really get a lot of offensive rebound putback chance or extra possessions. They're a really good rebounding team. So like you said, you have to take advantage of what you're going to get, and you have to be an aggressor against them and do your best to get them in foul trouble or use their aggression against them.
And again, like we're saying, you have to make the plays. And when you've dropped 3 conference games so far by 1 possession like our Aggies have done, we have missed out on making a key play or here and there. And so, again, you wonder about the team's confidence with the 1-5 start. Here's what Coach Odom had to say.
Not the result, certainly, that we all hope for and work so hard for. But there are winning plays to be had out there. And that's got to be our focus, is how do we turn several of these plays in our favor.
And so, like you're saying, Jalen, if it is a chance to win, it's going to probably be a close game, and you're going to have to make some of those winning plays up until now. Jalen, doesn't it seem like, too, a little bit that's happening to the Aggies in the defeats? The game has been a little amplified as far as how the play is going down low. Utah State is having a tough time with physical basketball in the paint in conference games against Wyoming, against Fresno State, against Boise State, and now San Diego State is a difficult thing. And that's a struggle for the Aggies right now, it seems.
Yeah, the physical play has hurt us a little bit, and that comes down to the rebounding too. Like we said, the last 3 games that we played, they've had a pretty solid big guy, and they've done a job on us. And now you're going to run into another guy in Mensa that I remember him and Nimi used to battle. So you look at a guy now that he went up against Nimi for 2 years, 3 years almost. Someone's going to have to do a job on him because him and Nimi would battle. He's going to be another post guy that can do a lot. He can block shots. He can rebound. He can make a post move. So that's an area where we're like, hey, we're going to have to be physical. We're going to have to be tough with him. But the thing about it is you're going to get 5 guys out there with the same physicality that the post player has for San Diego State. You're going to have big guards. You're going to have quick guards. They're strong. They always have guards like that. And you have to be physical on defense, and you have to put a body on everybody because sometimes San Diego State will send all 5. And we have to do a job rebounding-wise. And we haven't done that great of a job rebounding-wise, or like you said, with the physicality around the basket in our recent games.
Later tonight in our pregame here, we're going to have an interview with Trevin Dorius. I talked to him yesterday about this inside stuff, and no Nemish Keita now for us after nobody could get inside against the Aggies the last 3 years because of Nimi. Nathan Mensah, you mentioned, is a guy who did battling pretty well. We were talking about this the other night, John Russell and I. What do you think, Jalen? Might the Aggies think about doing a lineup of Dorius, Horvath, and Bean playing together, and then let the group of Jones, Idle Rock, Miller, Ashworth, Bairstow, when all of them are healthy, just play kind of the backcourt spot every once in a while, the wing, but we might consider going that direction. What do you think?
Yeah, I really won't be surprised if you go with a big lineup. This would not be a bad game to do it in either, because San Diego State, like I said, usually has some size. I remember when I was there, they had Winston Shepard, who was there too, and he was 6'8". Their four-man was 6'10". Their center 7 foot. Their three is 6'7". You know, like they get good recruits. They get good guards that have good size. You know, Pulliam for them, their starting one's probably about 6'2", 6'3", and he's their one. So it's just going to go up from there. I won't be surprised if we go a little bit bigger. Bean's capable of playing a three. He can stretch the floor now with confidence. He can shoot threes. He can make plays. He can put the ball on the floor. And, you know, Idle Rock's capable of playing a two. So I really won't be surprised if we see like an Ashworth, Idle Rock, Bean, Horvath, Dorius, or, you know, here or there mix in Bairstow with Idle Rock or with Bean. Just play a little bit bigger with these guys. And I also won't be surprised if our team throws a little bit more zone on San Diego State than we've seen in the past as well.
Because they're not a great offensive team, and we'll be talking about that here in a minute or two. So we got this interview with Trevin, and I said to him, what do you think about, I mean, he'll talk more about this, but what about, again, maybe a change in the lineup?
It's tough to get into a groove, but at this point in the season, none of our grooves are really working for us, so why not change it up a little bit?
See it again, because of, again, our injuries, our COVID, and everything like that that's going on to the team, maybe it is time to do something a little different. So, okay, we'll take our first break. We're going to talk more about that in the next segment. Jalen's keys are coming up, and of course, Trevin Dorius, he's such a character to talk to. Remember, in the only game we've won this year, he was the guy that New Mexico said, okay, Rylan Jones got hurt, had to go out of the game. 2 free throws to be had in a key game down the stretch. Remember, Trevin made both of those?
That was pretty disrespectful, wasn't it? Oh, my gosh. I was like, I didn't know that's how it worked, but.
We're going to talk more about that in the interview, and we'll get Ryan Odom as well and more with Jalen Moore. Aggie Game Day is brought to you by S.E. Needham Jewelers. Really, the fantastic jewelry store has been for generations. Again, we're in diamond engagement sets, all kinds of other great jewelry, the great gift shop, and repairs, too. Your watches and jewelry all available. S.E. Needham Jewelers, where Utah gets engaged, brings you Game Day here on KVNU this evening. The Aggies and the Aztecs. It's in the Spectrum tonight, but it does start on FS1 at 8:30 or close to it tonight.
Steven, stop dragging your feet. Don't you give me that look. You've had a bad attitude all day. Now, look, I know you'd rather be with your friends right now, but this has to be done. And either you start cooperating or I'm going to start taking things away from you. And I think you know what that means, don't you, Steven?
Yes, honey, I do.
All right.
Okay.
Watch it.
Bigger isn't always better. At Castalite, you'll choose from a huge selection of pavers and receive help from experts. You'll see just how easy it is to do it yourself. For brick, block, rock, paver, and tile, go where the pros go. Online at Castalite.com.
What do Valentine's Day and Jarek's have in common? They're both all about the romance. Jarek's Fine Jewelry has a great selection of men's and women's watches, earrings, bracelets, necklaces, and yes, engagement rings. Don't sweat it out worrying about where to get the perfect gift. Just come to Jarek's. Through Valentine's with any purchase, receive a forever metal rose, handcrafted by Metal Petals. Valentine's Day and Jarek's, they're both all about the romance.
Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Make it special, make it Jarek's.
The new year isn't the only thing we're celebrating here at Alpine Home Medical. This year marks our 25th anniversary, and we couldn't be happier to serve you. Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent. If you haven't shopped with us, we'd love for you to make us your one-stop shop for any of your home medical needs. They're always changing, so please don't hesitate to stop by any of our 10 locations throughout Utah and southern Idaho.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Or online at alpinehomemedical.com.
Elements has delicious lunch specials, 2 for $30, or the new soup, salad, and bread special for just $10. It's tasty and quick. Elements lunch menu is full of scrumptious items prepared with a personal touch. Wood-fired pizzas are an excellent choice that include barbecue chicken and the bee's knees. The fresh battered halibut fish and chips with seasoned fries is always a hit. And don't forget the fan-favorite Munster Burger. Casual or professional. Open Monday through Thursday, 11:30 to 8 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11:30 to 9 p.m. Visit theelementsrestaurant.com for reservations today.
It's KVNU Game Day with more analysis and more previews of today's game with Al Lewis.
It's kind of how it goes in this conference with the amount of talent that we have from top to bottom this year. You got to be ready every single night for a game like that, and I'm proud to be a part of this team, proud to be an Aggie, and we're going to get back in the lab tomorrow and get ready for our next game.
That was Stephen Ashworth after the tough loss to Boise State at home the last time out for Utah State. And again, last night in the conference, to show you, how things are going, Boise State did stay undefeated. They led most of the game against Wyoming. Wyoming took the lead by 2, under 3 minutes to go, and then it was Abu Kijab who scored, I think, 7 straight points for Boise State, and Boise pulled it out last night. 65-62 was the final over Wyoming. So first loss for the Wyoming Cowboys. They're 4-1. Boise State 7-1. And Colorado State was behind at the half, but came back and beat Nevada 77-66. So the Rams are ranked 22nd in the coaches poll, and they are 16-1 overall, but they're 6-1 in conference play. Then San Diego State's at 3-1. Fresno State won last night at New Mexico, 65-60. So it's 4-2 for Fresno State, and then you drop back to Nevada at 3-3, who the Aggies play Saturday at Reno, and then Air Force won last night at San Jose. So that makes Air Force 3-4, UNLV's 3-4 with the loss they had earlier to San Diego State. So Jalen, it's starting to, you can kind of see after the games last Saturday and then the games last night, there's a separation that is starting a little bit between kind of the top half of the league and a little bit more now to the bottom half of the league.
Yeah, it's starting to separate. Like we said, we knew the conference was going to be tough and that anybody can beat you any night out. But the teams that are the better teams, the teams that look like NCAA tournament teams, they're starting to separate themselves right now. And last time I checked, it's looking like we're going to have 3 or 4 teams, if it stays how it's been, that get at-large bids because of the way that they played in the non-conference and that they're playing in the conference so far. And it's the crazy thing about it is, you look at our team, we're sitting at 1-5, and you make a few more plays in each of the games that we've had so far, you are sitting at the top. So it's not like our team's so bad that we just can't compete with anybody. We can compete with every team that we play. It just comes down to there's those little plays towards the end of the game or during the game, and it could be, like we said, it could be our three-point shooting. It could be getting out-rebounded. It could be the free throw shooting. A lot of games it's been something different, but there's always those little plays that our team needs to capitalize on in order to win those games, and it would change the whole conference around.
I want to point this out. New Mexico is 0-7. They lost to Wyoming by 2, Boise by 8, Colorado State by 6, Fresno last night by 5, Nevada by 9, and the Aggies by 3. They're 0-7, and they could be at every game. There's one game they have not been in double digits, or they lost by double digits. The Aggies have not played a double-digit conference game margin yet. So, again, we're the only team in that department. Now, it's a little different for San Jose. But Air Force, other than the game they had to Boise State, I think they played everybody pretty close at everything this year. And, of course, you got the teams going like they are. The Aggies will go to Nevada on Saturday. And, again, the coach, told us this last Thursday about the Aggie team at 1-5. Like we've said, they've never started a conference season in Aggie history 1-5 before.
And so our team, we have to focus on making winning plays, staying together, and eventually it will turn, all right? Because our team is pretty good, and we've got to make sure that we stay the course, stay with it, and don't allow the results to impact what we're doing.
And he continues to say, Coach Odom does, in practice, the Aggies are getting things done. Feels like they're getting better as the season goes on. But again, it's not easy for these players to go through this. And we had Stephen Ashworth after the last game say,
Yeah, I think that we recognize that we're right in the thick of it. Coach Odom and his leadership has been profound. And he talked about how we're in a season within the season. And, that definitely resonated with me. I know that this isn't the end. I know that there's been a few games go not our way, and that's the joy of it, right, is that we know as a team that we haven't quite played our best game yet, and we have things to improve. And it's something that I think as a team, despite all of the defeat and all of the heartache that this brings, it's also very motivating, the fact that we can be that type of a team. We can be, at the top of the Mountain West. We still have a chance to win the Mountain West championships and go to the tournament, and that's part of our goals. But the biggest thing is that just getting back in the lab tomorrow and going back to it.
Every time, go back in that lab and get back to it, and that's what they're trying to do. And they going forward, and again, tonight it looks like we're still going to be shorthanded. A couple of starters, really, from guys who are a part of when we were playing great early in the season. Brock Miller, Rylan Jones were starters, and they will not go in the game tonight for sure. Hope there's not any last-second deals. But, hey, Jalen, we talked about the inside post game beating the Aggies in those games recently. And you know what? Our best player, we've talked about how the best player on the other team has come through. Even Shaver, the best player for Boise State, came through with a 3 at the end of the game, the only shot he made against us to win the game here. But Justin Bean, again, he's only shooting 44% from the field. He's only made 5 of 14 threes. He is averaging 9 rebounds a game, but 16 points in conference play. Teams have really gone after him, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, and they can because our percentages aren't super great. You know, when we were playing at the beginning of the season and our team was shooting lights out and we were looking good, we were shooting good from free throws, they had to guard everybody. You know, now teams are kind of like, hey, we're going to live with the results that we get as long as we lock down Justin Bean. So far, as they look at the first 6 games that we played, and every team's done it, they've done a good job. Like we said, New Mexico, they only lost by 3. So, like we said, every team's been in the game or we've lost the game. But most teams are like, hey, center in on Bean, and we're going to have to try to live with the other with the results that we get. And so far, it's been in the team's favor. And like we said, Bean's still putting up good numbers. Like you said, 44%. It's not like he's shooting 20%. He's still playing great ball. He's still almost averaging a double-double. It's just it's harder because a lot of teams are just centering in more about him, putting a little bit more pressure on some of his teammates, and able to capitalize some plays. And so far, we just haven't been up to par. We haven't done what we needed to do in those plays of capitalizing. And most of it, like we know and like the fans know and the team knows, coaches know, it's mainly from the three-point line. You know, we just haven't been shooting consistently or efficient enough from the three-point line and able to affect games. How about this stat that they broke down, Jalen? The Aggies are shooting 43% in conference games, but if you take out the three-point shooting, we're shooting 55% inside the arc. Now, a team like San Diego State will make it hard to hit shots inside that arc because they really know where they win games, and that is they protect the basket and all of that going in tonight. Being still the only guy in all games in the conference averaging a double-double. He's still number 5 in all of the NCAA. But I asked the coach, and listen to this, maybe you can explain a little bit more what Coach is talking about when I said, what are teams doing to Justin Bean, Ryan Odom?
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is on us, you know, in that we've tried to force feed him a little bit at times. And early in the season, we didn't necessarily do that. We let it come naturally through our offense to him. And we've tried to post him up a little bit more just based on the numbers. And it allows the other teams to, you know, attack him a little easier rather than him being out by the three-point line and cutting towards the basket. And so we've tried to change that a little bit, you know, over the last, you know, week or so, you know, to try to limit the amount of times that we're just trying to post him up. So I think that's part of it. Part of it is, you know, we're playing better defensive teams. That's the other part, right? Boise's really good on defense. You know, San Diego State, certainly, Wyoming, Fresno, like they're all numbers-wise. That's what they hang their hat on. And so that makes it tougher, too.
So really, what's he talking about there, that they tried to use him more in ISO-type situations, do you think? Is that what they were doing? Now they're going to get away from that a little bit? Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah, you know, they're just going to try to get back in the flow of their offense. Like you said, when Bean was cutting to the rim and able to float around the rim, do things like that, get boards, put him back, get to the free throw line a lot. He just thought the offense was flowing a little bit easier. And it's, like you said, it did look good. And it's a little bit harder, you know, he's your best offensive guy. So when your offense isn't looking the best or it's not looking as efficient, you know, you're obviously going to give it to your best player. And sometimes you might force it a little bit, hoping that he can make some plays. And, you know, it just hasn't been going the way that they thought. So I think they're just going to get back to a little bit more motion offense, getting the ball moving and stuff, and trying to get Bean cutting a lot. And it's hard, too, with Rylan Jones out of the game. Like we said, that's a point guard that was assisting 5 or 6 times a game, which is really good. And he's really good at passing the cutters and feeding the post and finding Bean on his cuts and stuff like that. So losing him, you know, you have to find someone else that can be a really good playmaker. So I think it just comes down to just doing a lot more things as a team. And like I said, I think a lot of it comes down to just shooting better, being more efficient. I think that's going to open up a lot of things for Bean and a lot of other players as well.
Again, San Diego State did rebound against UNLV Monday night to get back to winning ways after they lost to Boise State. An unbelievable game. 42-37 was the final score of the San Diego State-Boise State game on Saturday. It stopped a 16-game Mountain West win streak that San Diego State had. The Aztecs, the last time they got beat back-to-back in games was when they lost to the Aggies in the 2 games last year. And that was the first time it had happened in like 50 games for them. So Utah State does have a little track record against them. But you know what, Jalen? Even in that game against Boise State, Boise has never had a lower scoring Mountain West game, a lower made field goal game, and a lower field goal percentage game, and they still won the game. That's how good San Diego State's defense was, and they couldn't do anything offensively against Boise State.
Yeah, exactly. So our offense, it has to be on point. Like you said, the shots you get, you got to knock them in if you got an open look because you don't get a lot of them. They guard you the whole court. They guard you the whole time. You know what I mean? Like, they don't give you a lot of open looks. They don't give you a lot of second chances. They try not to foul you a lot. So that's, like I said, that's a big thing is you try to get them in foul trouble, try to get some free points at the free throw line. But they make you earn every point. I mean, they still lost that game because their offense probably wasn't very well, and Boise State's a good team too. So it's a low-scoring battle, but the defense is on point, and their defense has been on point every game. So, don't really expect anything less from them. Our team just has to play up the ante and play better, and our offense has to be more on point as well.
Then all of a sudden they turn on Monday night against UNLV, 80 points, 52.5%. They hit 6 of 17 threes. Matt Bradley, 27 points, 10 of 11 shots, 3 of 3 from three-point range. And this is what the coach said about their personnel, and then we'll get to your keys.
Got a dynamic scorer in Bradley. I think Butler's a key player for them. As he gets going, and Bradley gets going, they're both really tough to guard. One can make really, really hard shots, and the other makes the right shots and takes the right shots, for their team, and is just a really good defender. Up front, they've got, multiple guys in their front court that just really play hard, are physical and tough.
They really, again, are a team that's tough, athletic. They have strength in all their positions. Their guys are none of them are skinny guys. Like you mentioned Shepard. He was kind of a skinny, long-arm guy, but boy, he could really defend the rim and all that. That, to be honest, Jalen, the 2014 team that you played the first time you joined this league, that team had more offensive talent than San Diego State has right now. Although Bradley's pretty good, but again, they always defend the same way, don't they?
Yeah, they've always defended the same way. Like you said, some years offense has been way better than others, but the defense has always been there. That's why they're always at the top of the league. They always have a chance to make it, and sometimes, usually when they don't win the league, they still make it to the NCAA tournament because of the way that they just defend teams and the way that they win a lot of games from their defense. Because, like I said, they turn their defense into offense. So if you turn over the ball and they are able to score on it, they don't have to sit in a half-court offense where they're not the best. They want to get out in transition. They want to make plays. They want to have fun with it. And, when you let them do that, they're a hard team to compete with. If you can make them play at your tempo and make them play in the half court, that's when you have your best shot of beating the team.
Okay, so that kind of leads you into what do you have to do tonight to win this game for the Aggies and get out of this 4-game losing streak they have in conference play. And again, the keys are brought to you by White Pine Funeral Services. That's James Stevens, Mark Thurston, the other people at White Pine. Again, years of experience caring for families of all walks of life at a tough time with compassionate care. That's White Pine Funeral Services. So what do you see tonight, Jalen?
Yeah, so first key, biggest key, like we talked about, we have to handle the pressure. We have to have less than 12 turnovers. It might be a little bit extreme, but realistically looking at it, anything over 12, 13 turnovers it's just not going to end well for us. So we don't have Rylan. We don't have Brock, who's our dynamic shooter. We don't have our dynamic playmaker. So someone else is going to have to step up and be smart with the ball, take care of it. And we have to have less than 12 turnovers. I really think that's the case. If we do anything more than that, I think about half of them or more, San Diego State's going to capitalize on. That could be, so if we have 12 turnovers, they capitalize on 6 of them, that's 12 points that San Diego State can get right there. So we just have to take care of the ball. Number 2, we have to shoot better from 3. We have to shoot better than 25%. That's still not that great of a percentage, but it would be one of the highest percentages that we've shot from 3 so far in conference. Last game was one of our better games. We shot 22%. we got to shoot 25, 30%. We have to make them stretch out the court. That way Bean's able to cut. He's able to get to the rim. Bairstow's able to do his ISO stuff around the rim. We just have to shoot better from three. It has to happen. That's going to be our best chance of winning this game. And number 3, we have to win or tie the rebound battle. If you look at the team stats, they out-rebound us by about 2.5 rebounds a game. I think we have to win that battle or we have to tie for us to have our best chance. And we got to have a decent amount, 6, 7, 8 offensive rebounds that give us a few extra possessions in the game to have a chance to beat San Diego State. And if we do those 3 things, I truly think we come away with the win tonight.
We're actually leading the conference, Jalen, right now at a 1-5 season. We lead the conference in turnover margin compared to the opponents and all of that. We actually, again, make them turn it over almost 3 times a game more than us. So, again, we got the 2 top steals teams in the league and us and the Aztecs. That's not normally a spot for the Aggies. So, again, some of those things maybe can happen tonight. So we'll get a hold of you after the game's over, and we'll hopefully be talking about an Aggie win. And, again, San Diego State, Utah State always gets our interest. I know it does for you. So we'll talk to you after the game, okay?
Yep, sounds good.
All right, Jalen Moore joining with us again before the game, the Aggies' 10th all-time leading scorer, his keys to the game there as we go into our next segment. You heard the other night that Trevin Dorius, the character, went to check into the Aggie game against Boise State. He didn't have his jersey on as he took off his top warm-up.
I've got a little bit of crap from the people that I thought were my friends, but they.
We'll talk more about that and all kinds of stuff with him. Very entertaining. That's coming up here just around the corner on Game Day on KVNU.
Cache Valley Bank's newest branch is now open in Preston. I'm Lance Zollinger, and I'm excited to announce Cache Valley Bank is now open inside Stokes Marketplace. If you're an existing customer, you'll love the convenience. If you're not a customer, we'd love to have you open a new account with us, or even talk with us about a loan for your farm or business. Cache Valley Bank, a community bank where decisions are still made locally, now open in Preston. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Breaking news. Stimulating talk.
Here's what we do. The biggest problem we have is ignorance.
KVNU Logan, 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
S.E. Needham Jewelers is where Utah gets engaged. Couples throughout the state buy their rings from S.E. Needham Jewelers because of our low prices, extensive ring selection, and extraordinary benefits and services with financing available. Go to seneedham.com to learn more. We have many unique and beautiful engagement rings starting at $500. You'll find affordable engagement rings with our integrity price guarantee. This is why we are where Utah gets engaged. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 7. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
What's more important than sleep? Granted, some things are, but not many. This is Ryan at My Mattress, and here we offer the best solution to better sleep, a better mattress. IntelliBed, the gel mattress, cradles your hips and shoulders while providing the best back support possible. Or come in and choose a Tempur-Pedic that boasts 93% of their owners love their bed. My Mattress, offering the best sleep possible by the South Walmart.
Advanced Heating and AC, the gold medal winner in the Best of Northern Utah, is teaming up with Carrier Heating and Cooling. Carrier provides you with the best furnace units available. And now is the best time to buy a new unit before the weather turns Cache Valley cold. Financing options are available. Turn to the experts at Advanced Heating and AC and Carrier. Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning at 752-7272. Stop by at their showroom west of DI. Online, advancedheating-ac.com.
KVNU Game Day returns.
Yeah, for sure. It's a big responsibility. It's something that I'm grateful to be able to have. I take the responsibility really seriously. And
being a captain on this basketball team, and again, we've heard the coach a couple of times really point out that it was Brock Miller after tough games or things going wrong. He's saying the right things to this team. Brock, whenever he's been in practice lately, even though he hasn't been able to play with his bad back, he has been all over the guys in practice about good plays, bad plays, helping them out. Again, he is a big, big part of this basketball team, but he wants to get totally healthy with this back to be able to play down the stretch, because at this particular point, again, now it is the conference tournament that will make the big deal for this team, what they want to do to play postseason basketball. Brock, of course, will be a big part of that. Tonight, again, he's missing. The coach told us yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, Ryland's going to be out again. Brock's out again. Bean's coming off the a little bit of a cold, and so he didn't practice yesterday. He did today, as you saw. And so it's just kind of running through us a little bit. But it's good to see more Aggies back out here at practice, I'll tell you that. There was a moment there where we had several guys out with COVID and staff members out, and we were a depleted bunch, but it's starting to come back now, which is good. And Ryland's feeling a little bit better, so that's a positive.
Even one guy on his staff lately has had to have surgery. That wasn't one of his assistant coaches, but somebody else who helps in the program has had to do that. But they are at least getting all the bodies back to practice time and all of that. But again, there has not been a break for this Aggie team this year when it comes to injuries and personnel situations to be able to play a long stretch of games with that same lineup that was playing great early in the season. Ryland Jones?
But yeah, whenever you missing 2 starters, there's, Brock's shooting ability and RJ's playmaking and scoring. There's the points to be made and plays to be made that we have to make. And, yeah, I had I got some open shots and, it just came in the flow of the game.
That was when he had, of course, that good offensive game, and he came back and did that. But he mentions RJ Idle-Rock, who, of course, is a big part of things. The way he came back against Boise State, finally back to the lineup, that helps.
Yeah, RJ, that's what I'm used to seeing as his coach, from UMBC days. And he had the ball a lot at UMBC. He had it more tonight. Certainly in transition, he's getting the outlet, he's going, rebounding it and taking off. He was aggressive in transition, and that's kind of how he plays. We need him to do that.
That's the 14-point game that he had against Boise State the last time out that the Aggies played. It would figure the starting lineup tonight for SC Needham Jewelers for Utah State would be Bean and Horvath and Stephen Ashworth, and then probably Sean Bairstow, and then will they go Trevin Dorius or will they go RJ Idle-Rock? We'll have to wait and see which way they decide to do, but that's the SC Needham Jewelers starting lineup for tonight's game. Now, as far as tonight's game goes, against the San Diego State Aztecs, for the first time, Coach Odom goes against them.
Obviously a great defensive team, top 3 in the country, number 1 in our conference, and most of the categories on defense, if not all. Very physical team. They tend to switch effectively and keep bodies in front. They really pressure you and will force steals and errant passes at times. They really feed off of that. They're a ferocious rebounding team.
They are, again, number 3 in the nation in scoring defense, number 1 in efficiency of field goal percentage for the opponents, number 4 in overall defensive field goal percentage. They've had 7 games this year. They've allowed the opponent to shoot less than 39%. They're number 11 in three-point percentage field goal defense, and number 3 in Ken Palm's adjusted defensive efficiency. That's where it is. So you don't hear a whole lot of talk about their offense, but the coach says?
Yeah, they've had some games where they knock them in. A lot of it's, Bradley, is he hitting threes? Butler certainly can make threes. And they have some other guys that, while their percentages aren't what they want them to be, they guard you on the other end. So your three-point percentage is below theirs when you play them.
That's, again, what the coach is having to say. Brian Dutcher, the coach on the other side, he's had 4 conference titles. He's been a National Coach of the Year, twice the Mountain West Coach of the Year. He's the only fifth-year coach in the country with 100 wins now. He's 107-35. He was a Michigan assistant, 3 NCAA Final Fours, and they won the title in 1989. They've held to 60 points or less 11 of their 15 opponents this year. They're 1-2 on the road is all they are up until now, but they've won at least 19 games 16 years in a row, been to postseason 13 of the last 15, and they have won 62 of 66 if they lead at the half, 63 of the last 65 if they have a higher shooting percentage than the other team. And since 2008, they're the number 8 winningest program in all of college basketball. They are 4-3 against the Aggies in the Spectrum in Mountain West play, 4-4 overall as they played in Logan. They had a game a long time ago in the old field house here, and then we played a neutral site at Vivint besides the games we played in Vegas. All right, Trevin Dorius coming up and more with the coach as we continue game day on KVNU. Trevin?
I'm getting married in May. I'm really excited. I don't know if you've met Callie, but she's my favorite. She's my favorite person by far on this planet.
We have been teasing a lot of fun stuff with Trevin Dorius. It's coming up next on Game Day tonight here on KVNU. FS1 will have the TV at 8:30 of the Aggies and the Aztecs tonight. FS1 at 8:30.
Winter is upon us, which is the best reason to have a clean and healthy home. This is Darryl with ChemDry of Northern Utah. Let us come and make your carpets, rugs, and upholstery and hardwood as clean as it can be. Platinum certified with the Carpet and Rug Institute and Indoor Air Quality Association. ChemDry's hot carbonation and quick dry times will leave your homes healthy and ready to combat the cold and flu season. We're a company that you can trust. Call ChemDry of Northern Utah.
ChemDry of Northern Utah. ChemDry of Northern Utah. 435-752-6100.
This is Jay with Daryl's Appliance. What happens when an appliance breaks down and the cost of the repair is more than the appliance value? You're stuck with a service call charge at most places, not at Daryl's. With our exclusive Under One Roof loyalty program, we discount the service call diagnostic charge when you decide to buy new from us instead of the repair. That's the Daryl's difference, because service always comes first. Daryl's West on Airport Road, open until 6 p.m. on weekdays, 5 on Saturday.
Ascent Aesthetics is a premier aesthetic practice. Doctors Benyon, Blotter, and Robinette of Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat are proud to offer you a professional aesthetics team. The Ascent team is passionate about education, best techniques, products, procedures, and services. If you're looking for help with Botox, fillers, microneedling, laser hair removal, medical-grade facials, or skincare, Ascent will help you feel confident, beautiful, and refreshed. See which Ascent service is right for you and learn more at AscentAesthetics.com. That's AscentAesthetics.com.
This is Mark Thurston from White Pine Funeral Services. On behalf of all of us here at White Pine, we want to thank the community of Cache Valley for your support this past year. Thank you for selecting us as a silver winner for the Best of Northern Utah. We look forward to many more years of working with you here in our community. We know you have a choice, and we hope you will consider White Pine Funeral Services. If you have questions about cremation, funerals, or planning ahead, please contact us or visit whitepinefunerals.com.
White Pine Funeral Services, here when you need us most.
The clock is ticking, and Aggie basketball is getting closer. It's KVNU Game Day.
Look at Trevin Dorius. Last 3 games, his impact within the game, way different than how he was playing earlier in the season, right when he came off of injury. He had a couple of one-off games, Richmond, a couple where he really impacted it, but now he's able to hold his own in there. He feels more comfortable.
And so let's talk to Trevin Dorius in our next segment of Game Day. Let's do first a scoreboard update for you on the high school games. After 3 quarters, Logan leads at Skyview, 48-36. Grizzlies have been playing better after that Mountain Crest game. They beat Bear the other night. They lead by 12 going to the 4th quarter. And at the half, Green Canyon is ahead of the Mountain Crest Mustangs, 37-25 after the Mustangs had that big win against Skyview. And Ridgeline led Bear River 27-18 at the half. That's the last score we have. Score is brought to you by West Point Dairy. They ship butter all over the world. They are hiring, looking for people who are mechanically inclined or skilled machine operators. 213-9595. And you look forward to this, and I am too. I love it. I always appreciate getting a chance to talk to Trevin Dorius. I think, Trevin, you tell it like it is, but you're an interesting guy to talk to. And first off, I have to start off, the other night you went to go in the game and you didn't have your jersey on.
Yeah.
How much have you heard about that?
I've gotten a little bit of crap from the people that I thought were my friends, but you know, it's good. It's funny because the night before, the game before, I almost did the same thing but caught it. I was like, thank goodness I didn't go out like that. That'd be dumb. And then here I am 2 nights later making that same mistake, but I got the video saved, and I'll look back on that one. Fond memories.
That will be fun. I got to tell you a story.
Hey, what do you got?
One of my best friends played JV basketball back in the JV freshman days at Utah State.
Mm-hmm.
Rod Tuller called him to go into the game, and those days they had warm-up pants and uniforms. He took his rip-aways off, and he didn't have his shorts on.
That's so much worse. Like it could have been worse. It's all about perspective, ain't it?
and he goes, Coach, I can't go in the game.
Yeah, I mean, that was the toughest part coming back. I was like, oh, did I miss my chance? You know, like with our rotation, Sean was in there. I was like, oh shoot, we're running a little bit smaller this time, but no, they're like, we'll get you in. So it wasn't too bad.
Well, Trevin, your spot on this team is really interesting because I really think that right now you are really called on defensively in this league to come in and stop some big guys or stand in against big guys.
Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed, but the Mountain West Conference is really run by the big guys on each team. You know, they bring in these big 6'10", 6'11", 7-foot guys, 250 pounds, you know, like a bunch of big guys that influence and impact the offense. So, yeah, it's been cool for me, you know, to feel like when I see those guys going in, it's like, all right, it's my time to shine. Like, you know, it's different from years past when it was just sort of like trash minutes or whatever. But this year, it feels cool to be able to be making a difference especially in a conference like this.
Is this a different deal for Utah State because we had Neemias, who kind of dominated. Now we're kind of seeing what other teams felt like every once in a while.
Yeah, you go into these games, you're like, oh my gosh, is that what Wyoming felt like last year? Like, my gosh, like they you know, playing with Neemias, we talk about it a lot in the locker room. He was really a safety net for our team last year. And as we're trying to replicate that this year, it really shows how much we miss him. But you know, he's off to bigger and better things, doing good. But I think one of the greatest things about playing with him is that you really do learn little tricks, little tips to be able to guard someone of that caliber, a big man that's as skilled as Nimi was.
One conference win right now. You were a huge part of that. You made 2 free throws when the other team said, okay, you're the guy who's going to shoot the 2 free throws.
That was pretty disrespectful, wasn't it? Oh my gosh. I was like, I didn't know that's how it worked, but you know, you get time on the floor, you better not waste it.
But you've been working in a lot of your games.
Yeah. It's just hours and hours that no one really gets to see. So it's like, again, like that, you don't do it to be recognized, but it's always nice to see all your hard work really manifest itself on the court.
And you had to talk after, I think it was the Fresno game, where you guys lose another close game. And these close games, what is it really? Is it hard to continue to go at it? Or, I mean, you're so close to all of these good teams that's got to make you feel like, hey, maybe we make 1 play or 2 plays or make 1 stop or 2 stops, we win these games.
Yeah, no, it's not demoralizing at all. Like you said, they've all come down to 1 possession, maybe 2 possessions. Just the fouls at the end. No one's thinking that, oh, like this is the end for us. You know, like they've all been so close. We're gonna finish out the regular season, and then when conference comes, it's not like that gap is gonna be blown wide open. Like it's gonna be close again. Every game in that conference tournament is gonna be decided by 1 or 2 possessions, regardless of the seeding. And you know, we're all really looking forward to that opportunity again.
Aggies taking on a good San Diego State team tonight in the Spectrum, trying to turn things around from their misfortunes early in this season. Let's hope it can go well tonight. More with Trevin Dorius in a minute. We're brought to you tonight on Game Day, brought to you by Ryan and Travis Lenhard, who started My Mattress in 2009. 2 brothers committed to help people sleep better. They specialize in quality mattress sets, the best, along with adjustable bases, pillow sheets, and mattress accessories at My Mattress, bringing you Game Day on KVNU.
Hi, this is Bob Larson with LSS Insurance. Are you confused by TV commercials telling you all that you're missing from your Medicare coverage? These national ads are offered by people you will never hear from again and are only interested in selling you something. Let us answer your questions and show you in detail your Medicare options. We're your local agent, here to help throughout the year. Please call 752-9493. Why not take advantage of every benefit available? Come see us or call 752-9493.
West Point Dairy Products at Hiram is hiring. West Point Dairy Products has been manufacturing high-quality butter for over 25 years in Cache Valley. They're currently expanding and want you on their growing team. West Point Dairy Products offers competitive wages for entry-level positions starting at $18 per hour, full benefit packages, double time on Sundays, a $2,000 sign-on bonus, and tremendous opportunities for growth. For immediate consideration, call Express Employment Professionals at 435-213-9595.
Cold weather is here. Let the gold medal winner in the Best of Northern Utah's fireplace category help you update your home with Napoleon's full line of gas or wood-burning products. Building a new home? Let the professionals at Advanced Fireplace and Stove design and install your fireplace. From traditional to modern, Napoleon has something for every design and every budget. Install a product that will allow your family to make memories for years to come. Stop by at their showroom or visit them at advancedfireplaceandstove.com.
This is Dave Simmons for Les Olson Company. Your team's in the locker room ready to get out there and play to win, but you see a player you don't recognize. They're wearing your jersey and even know your coach's name. But who are they? Would you let this stranger look at your team's playbook? That's exactly how phishing attacks work. In 2020, the number of phishing attacks against businesses doubled compared to the previous year. Don't take risks. Take action with the Les Olson Security Suite. Get your free network assessment at lesolson.com.
'23rd ever Utah State-San Diego State game tonight. Again, it is the 8th time that we played them in the Spectrum in our conference years with them in the Mountain West, where they have dominated. They've won 14 Mountain West titles. 12 times since 2006 they've been in the Mountain West final game. That's the second most in all of the NCAA as far as final games. Probably Gonzaga would be the only team that would be ahead of them with that. And we continue in our interview with Trevin Dorius, again, the junior for the Aggies, out of, again, the Heber, Utah area, played down there in high school, and, again, walked on originally to the Aggies, but, boy, did we want him. And after his mission, he's come back and played, and he's got some exciting news in this next segment. What has it been like on this team to have every once in a while somebody can't play, or somebody, now you've had a few COVID things, you've had a few injury things. Does that mess up things a little bit? I mean, you came into the season with an injury and had to play kind of your way in at the start of the year.
Yeah, it's been tough. There's definitely been a lot of injuries and a lot of sickness. You know, not even just COVID, just other sicknesses that have been keeping guys out. Like, it's tough to get into a groove. But at this point in the season, none of our grooves are really working for us, so why not change it up a little bit?
I say San Diego State. What does that come to mind, or what comes to mind when you play the Aztecs?
It's kind of like a rivalry there. As long as I've been here, it's been us and San Diego State. You know, my first year, I guess so 2 years ago, we lost to them twice, regular season, won the conference championship against them. Last year, we beat them twice, regular season, and then lose the conference championship to them. Like, I don't know if that's how they refer to us, but I feel like it's always been us and the Aztecs, and that, I mean, with that in mind, it's cool to see the rest of the conference. You know, just the skill throughout the conference.
Well, and this is a good league. Every single team. I mean, we've seen it. New Mexico isn't easy to beat. They're struggling to win a game. You know, and you saw what Air Force can do. They gave Boise a really good game before you guys played Boise.
Yeah, all these teams that we've had close losses to, you know, they're beating good teams and they're losing close ones. Like I said, that gap between winning and losing is just so small. We just got to capitalize on those game-winning moments.
What has this team been like? Every year is a different team, I'm sure. What is the feeling of this year's group being around?
This is a good group of guys. Probably one of my favorites. And I think like earlier you asked about like if it's demoralizing or frustrating, and like it definitely could be. But this is a great group of guys. You know, we come into the gym every day, and no one's upset. No one's hanging their head on where we're at in the season. They're all just like, all right, we got some things to work on, obviously, but let's do it. They pick each other up. They celebrate each other's successes. It's a really cool culture to be a part of.
It really seems like it. And the coaching staff and the change, was that an easy deal?
No, a change like that, I haven't really experienced too much of it, but I can't imagine it's ever super easy. Because a lot of things have changed, just personalities and different coaches and different techniques and theories, and you know, play styles completely different from years past.
Terms change. You have to learn a different way of talking about
terminology changes. There's we have different terms for different things. Even drills or plays or screens. Like there's a lot of like universal terms, and then there's just some weird ones that, you know, you just gotta getting your vocabulary. But
and besides basketball, I understand you have had some exciting news off the court. You're going to get married eventually here.
Eventually, yeah. I'm getting married in May. I'm really excited. I don't know if you've met Callie, but she's my favorite. She's my favorite person by far on this planet. I'm really
excited here at school, or have you known her a long time?
No, I met her just a couple years ago. She was going to school up here. I met her through a friend. So, yeah.
Everybody's, and that's got to make family and everybody happy and excited for off season, but you've got a lot to concentrate on before that, right?
Yeah.
You let her worry about the wedding, and you're going to keep playing with that.
She's a great planner. She's done a lot of that stuff. I just have to worry about the fun stuff. So I'll figure all that stuff out, and then we'll figure stuff out here on the court. Like it's a fun season of my life for sure.
Mm-hmm. And physically, does it, when you turn later January into February, does it start to get a little bit more of a grind, or has things stayed fresher for you guys?
No, it hasn't felt like. It doesn't feel like anyone's like dragged down or slowing down. Like, we're all. That's another cool thing actually. Now that you mention it, like we're all excited to be here. No one's ticked off or frustrated, or it's just basketball as usual. Nothing's really changed.
That's really good. Trevin, always good to talk to you. Great attitude you got. Keep it going.
All right, thank you.
Isn't it fun to listen to Trevin Dorius again? Like we said, the junior from Heber, went to Wasatch High School. He entered this year with 2 double-digit scoring games, and he's already matched that through the first 10 games of this season. And again, his career high is 12 against New Orleans, and his career high rebounds is 11 against St. Catharines, and then also against New Mexico last season. So Trevin Dorius, our pregame guest tonight. As we get ready for this game this evening, do want to mention that, the Aggies have never lost. They've lost 5 Mountain West games in a row. That was in 2016. Tonight, they're trying to stop that losing streak at 4. They haven't lost 3 straight home games. And again, only a 4-4 home record this year. 2012, 2013 is the last time they lost 3 straight games at home. And through the grapevine, guess who I'm hearing tonight that Randy McCall is back as one of the officials of the game. Isn't it ironic that the other night Ryan Odom said after the game against Boise State,
we can't wait for the officials to make a call for us. They're not worried about it. They're just trying to do their jobs, right?
And again, we remember the St. Mary's game when Randy had the call at the end of the game. Again, as we get ready for tonight, KVNU Game Day brought to you by Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning. They have what you need as far as gas fireplaces and furnaces. And they can also fix your furnace and let them take care of that. You can go to advancedheating-ac.com or call 752-7272. Always want to be 72 in your house. Okay, going into tonight, Justin Bean, 27th all-time in scoring. 6 points tonight. He'll pass Jay Goodman and become the 26th all-time leading scorer. He's 27 points away from getting into the top 25. In rebounding, he's number 6 right now. He is 7 away from Eric Franson, going to the number 5 spot. And if he gets a double-figure rebound game, he will pass Greg Grant. He's tied with him for second all-time, and then be in, again, some shooting distance to Marvin Roberts' record of 55. He would be 49 if he gets one more, again, of those. So, again, as we go into tonight, again, this Aggie team plays tonight, then plays Saturday night against Nevada. That will start 5 games in 11 days. It's been kind of nice for Coach Odom's team to have a little bit of time off here. Maybe they can get Ryland Jones and maybe Brock Miller back pretty soon.
Yeah, it's definitely been good for us to get in the practice gym. It's been good for them to get some time off, too. They took Friday off and Sunday off, get their legs back, because we know we've got several games in a short amount of time. Now that we've added, the San Jose State back onto the schedule, it's quick turnarounds. And so this team's been very good at following a scouting report in short order and being able to digest it pretty quickly.
So Nevada on Saturday, Air Force on Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. San Jose looks like next Thursday at 7 o'clock, and then they go to UNLV on the Saturday. Then they'll turn around the next week and play Wyoming, I think, on Wednesday. They have given us the S.E. Needham Jewelers starting lineup update. It's Johnson, Bradley, Mensah, Pulliam, and Butler for Brian Dutcher's team, as expected. But it will be Horvath, Ashworth, along with Bean, Bairstow, and Idlerock starting for the Aggies. So they won't start big, as we thought maybe they might do in this game tonight. So Again, that's where we're at. I think we've given you all of the statistics going in. Remember, the Aggies have not won a game if they haven't scored at least 70 points in. San Diego State doesn't even give up any more than about 55 points a game, I think, on average. Let's see, what are they giving up for the season? Right here, 56.3 a game. And only against Colorado State have we scored 70 points in one of these losing efforts in conference play. So if somehow we can get some offense going, because it's not easy against San Diego State, and it's on FS1. The Marquette and Seton Hall game is going to got 52 seconds to go, so it's not going to go, I don't think, too much longer. And so the Aggie game should be pretty close. Again, FS1, 8:30 it was supposed to start. It might be an 8:35, 8:40 start in the Spectrum. But immediately when the game is done, we'll be back here with John Russell and myself. We'll get a hold of Jalen Moore. We'll talk about the game. We want your comments, your texts, or your phone calls. And we'll also get some stuff from the Spectrum from Jake Ellis, from coach and players. And we're talking about the end of an Aggie losing streak and a big win against San Diego State tonight. So FS1 for the game if you're not in the Spectrum. And we'll talk to you immediately after the game right here on K.